The Mummy is directed by Alex Kurtzman and stars Tom Cruise and Sofia Boutella, and it follows the story of Tom Cruise's character as he discovers an ancient buried princess deep beneath the desert who is apparently the mummy, and as she is awakened, she tries to fulfill her destiny and she brings a reign of terror to the human civilian life. This is a good looking movie. Cinematically it's great, the special effects, the set design, the CG, it all looks fantastic. I also like the action sequence. It is well shot, choreographed action sequence, and of course with Tom Cruise being the action star, you're bound to see some great action sequence as Tom Cruise himself, he did most of his own stunts, which is one thing that makes this movie quite watchable. Tom Cruise's performance, it's good, it's what Tom Cruise does best. Like I said, he takes his own stunt, which makes the action that much better, and he also have great comedic timing in this movie, which really helps in developing his character. But for the character himself, his character was okay. He was kind of a douche, but aside from that, his character is just very bland. Sofia Boutella, who played Amanette, which is the mummy, she brings a good performance, not the best, but she did an alright in portraying the mummy. She sort of bring that, not really an innocence, but something you could sort of relate to her. And in terms of villain, I don't find that as a really good villain, because the mummy in this movie is supposedly the villain, but I don't see that fear, that terror, that intimidation that usually villains have. In this movie, the mummy, who is the villain, it is very bland again. Aside from Tom Cruise and Sofia Boutella, Russell Crowe is also in this movie, and he played a really interesting character, and without revealing who he really is, I will just say that his character have interesting personalities. Seeing Russell Crowe and Tom Cruise sharing a scene is a sight to behold, and it did not disappoint. Sadly, that's just it. If you notice how everything I've said are facts, and they are individual standalone facts, and it doesn't really connect as one another, and that's because there's so many individual things that is good with this movie, but it doesn't make the movie good as a whole. The biggest thing I could point out about the flaw of this movie is that the writing is really lazy, it's really sloppy, it was convoluted, several stuff was going on at the same time. In the story, there's several arcs, there's one arc here, another arc here, and it's just very overbloated. There are some arcs that if you remove, it wouldn't make a difference in the movie at all. So all these arcs that is put in this movie is just making the movie a mess. The best way to describe it is that they don't really know what they're doing and what they're aiming for, and they don't, in that term, they don't really know what to achieve. They don't know what they want to achieve in this movie. As you know, The Mummy is the first movie in Universal's Dark Universe, and this is basically their cinematic universe version of Gods and Monsters. Universal's known for their Mummy, Frankenstein, Vampire Dracula, all those kind of monsters, and The Mummy is the first movie to set up that universe. And in this movie, there is a lot of setup, which sort of harms the movie as an individual movie. I want to compare this to other cinematic universe, let's say DCEU, because they have been the one that's recently struggling, except for the success of Wonder Woman, which is appearing last week. But previously, DCEU have struggles in BVS and Suicide Squad because they try to set up stuff. Also, an example from MCU, Avengers Age of Ultron ain't that good because they try to set up stuff. And in this movie, you could see lots of Easter eggs and it's set up so many stuff, which is what happened as there are many arcs. There is one arc in particular which I see as an arc that could be great going forward in the cinematic universe, but it doesn't fit in the context of this movie at all. As if if you remove that arc from this movie, it wouldn't make a difference. In this movie, there are so many action sequences, and in between those action sequences is basically just a setup for the next action sequence. So this movie is like setup, action, over and over, and then really the plot didn't really build, and the writing, like I said, it's very convoluted. Something in the opening of the movie I would say as a very lazy writing, because it does not feel like something that you would see in a movie, because it's more like a storytelling, which I don't really find as a very cinematic thing. A lot of the issue is from the story and the screenplay, basically, the character that is written. Like I said, Tom Cruise's character was okay. And one character, which is the character of Vale, which is basically the Tom Cruise's best friend. He's basically the comic relief of this movie. And I don't find his character that funny at all. and even at times I find him annoying, but he's basically overall just okay again. Everything in this movie just basically okay. Annabelle Wallis, who played Jenny, and she's the love interest of Tom Cruise's character, and in this movie she's practically useless. She's just another damsel in distress. She constantly needs saving. She always ends up with being helped by Tom Cruise. She cannot do anything on her own. She's just lucky and she's just there for nothing basically. She doesn't do anything in this movie. It's not her fault. I think she was okay again. The performance was okay. The writing for her character, oh my god. It's so sad after seeing Wonder Woman from last week as a female character who can take charge and doesn't need to rely on a man and can do everything on her own, independence, know what she's doing. And now we see this character written and she's just not damsel in distress. She's just there. She doesn't do anything. She needs to rely on a male character again to do all her stuff. It is very, it's not something that we need in the community these days. Overall, like what I've been saying throughout this video, this movie was practically okay. I like the action and the special effects. I think it's cinematically good, and it does have potential to grow in terms for the universe. I see a lot of potential in it, but for the movie alone, no, I don't really like it. I don't really enjoy it. I feel like it's something that might be forgettable and I wouldn't revisit it until a long time, because the movie suffers from a lot of things, but mainly it's due to the writing and the screenplay. Like I said, the story was convoluted and it affects the character development too. And so with that, I would give The Mummy a 7.4. Guys, are you excited for The Mummy? After seeing this video, does that make you want to watch it even more or not at all? I probably, unless you have nothing else to do, I probably wouldn't recommend it. I mean, there's Wonder Woman if you haven't watched, and that movie is amazing, and it has great female character and male character as well. And in this movie, yeah, if you have nothing else to do, then go for it. Question of the day: what is your favorite gods and monster movie? Personally, I haven't watched a lot of them, but the original Mummy starring Brendan Fraser I find fun at least. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like it, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel to see more. I will be doing weekly news rundown again at the end of this week, probably earlier than last week because last week was kind of late and I did it with my friends and it was a lot of fun. It was long, but you should definitely check it out. Steve Buscemi, if you watch it, it's an inside joke, so go watch that video right now. It was hilarious. Yeah, until next time, Jiao out.